The silent game. Have you ever stopped to think that often a woman speaks much more with her body than with her mouth? It's no exaggeration. Studies show that up to 93% of human communication is and here is the truth that few admit. Most men completely ignore these signs. Even worse, when they notice something, they misinterpret it, react in an exaggerated way, and end up pushing away precisely who could approach. It's as if they live blind to the oldest game in the world, the silent game of body language. It is at this point that the mature man has an advantage. After 50, you already realize that time teaches a powerful lesson. Calm is strength. Where an anxious guy reacts hastily, the experienced man observes, breathes, and maintains his posture. And that is exactly what differentiates the common from the unforgettable. Because the woman feels when she is in front of someone who doesn't need to rush, who doesn't seek approval at every moment, but who transmits security in every gesture, even in silence. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 subtle signs of female body language that change everything. Signs that, when you learn to decipher them, reveal interest, openness, and even desire, long before any word is spoken. They are almost invisible details, but they speak volumes to those who have trained eyes. And here's a warning. This is not about tricks or magic formulas. The goal is not to manipulate, but to understand. Because when you learn to see what her body is communicating, you start to act with more respect, more confidence, and more clarity. This not only increases attraction, but also avoids misunderstandings that destroy relationships. Before we move forward, I want to make a simple request. Write here in the comments your age and the city or country from where you are watching. It is important for me to know who I am talking to, because each generation carries unique experiences, and I want to speak directly to you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel now. Tap the subscribe button. Activate the little bell. I know that many people over 50 are not used to doing this, but it's simple, quick, and ensures that you receive the next content that can change the way you understand women. Get ready. What you are going to hear today may seem subtle, but when you put it into practice, you will realize that the signs were there all the time, waiting for someone who knew how to look calmly. How to read without invading. Presence, breathing, look before knowing each specific sign. You need to understand the basis that supports all of them, the way you observe. Reading body language is not about spying or analyzing like an interrogation. It's about being present, noticing the details, respecting the space, and above all, not reacting with anxiety. The key is simple: posture, breathing, and look. 3 elements that seem basic, but that, when mastered, completely transform your presence. Posture is the first point. A hunched, restless man who doesn't know where to put his hands transmits insecurity even before opening his mouth. A man who keeps his spine straight, his shoulders aligned, and his movements firm communicates strength and stability without having to say anything. The woman notices this immediately. She may not verbalize it, but she feels it. Breathing is the second pillar. Whoever breathes short and fast always seems distressed, nervous, lost. Whoever breathes slowly, deeply, transmits calm. And calm is attractive because it shows control. When you control your own breathing, you infect the environment, decrease tension, create space for the other person to feel safe. And finally, the look. The look is perhaps the most powerful sign of all, because it carries presence. It's not about staring in a harsh way, but about looking in a firm and calm way. A look that shows that you are there completely, listening, noticing, without looking away to all sides like someone who is impatient. This look does not invade, but welcomes. And it is in this look that many subtle signs appear. The deviation, the pause, the return, the curiosity. When you combine posture, breathing, and look, you create the perfect environment to see the signs that women give, and that most ignore. You don't need to ask too much or force anything. Just be there, attentive, calmly. And here I want to ask you a question. Do you usually notice subtle signs before approaching? Have you ever been in doubt whether a gesture was real interest or just coincidence? Write in the comments. Your experience can help other men who are also looking for clarity in this silent game. In the next blocks, we will decipher each of the 7 signs, and we will start with the most classic of all, the look that flees, but returns. Maybe you've seen this happen without giving it importance, but when you know how to interpret it, you will understand why this detail can be the beginning of something much bigger. Sign 1. Look that flees and returns. Selective scanning. You are in a coffee shop, in a social gathering, or even walking down any corridor. Suddenly a woman crosses her eyes with you for an instant. Quick, intense, and soon after she looks away. If it were just that, it could be chance. But a few seconds later, she looks again, and once again. This is the classic sign of what we call selective scanning. The look that flees and returns is not random. It's a silent test. She wants to know if you notice, if you stay calm, or if you react with anxiety. Many men, when noticing this look, already rush. They smile too much, wave, make some exaggerated comment, and it is precisely there that they lose the game. Because the secret is not in reacting, but in sustaining the presence. When a woman looks once and never repeats, it's just coincidence. But when she looks away and returns, there is an embryonic interest there. It's like a bait thrown. If you bite too quickly, showing desperation or neediness, she loses interest. Now if you just notice, keep your posture straight, breathe deeply, and stay firm, her curiosity grows. This detail is worth gold, especially for mature men. Because unlike a young man who seeks immediate approval, the experienced man knows that calm is magnetic. He understands that he doesn't need to chase, because the look has already revealed that there is space. The question is, are you going to sustain this space, or are you going to break it with haste? Here, less is more. A light eye contact sustained for a few seconds, without a forced smile, already communicates a lot. It's not about staring, but about being present. If she smiles, great. If she looks away again, it's also okay. The simple fact that she looks back already shows that something is happening. In situations like this, remember a basic principle. Whoever stays calm dictates the rhythm. The female look is the invitation. Your posture is the answer. Sign 2, exposing the neck. Few signs are as old and as instinctive as this one. The neck, in body language, is a region of vulnerability. Exposing this part of the body is, unconsciously, a gesture of openness. It's as if she said without words, "I'm receptive." This gesture can happen in subtle ways. She throws her hair to the side, tilting her head slightly. Or when laughing at something you said, she raises her chin a little, leaving her neck more exposed. Even the simple act of putting her hair behind her ear carries this message of receptivity. The most curious thing is that, most of the time, she does this without realizing it. It's instinctive, natural, almost automatic. But, for the attentive man, it's a revealing detail. While many think she's just fixing her hair, whoever has presence understands that it can be a silent sign of interest. And here comes an important point. The mistake is to react too much. Many men rush to compliment, make jokes, comment inappropriately. This breaks the charm of the gesture, which is precisely the naturalness. The mature man does not react like a dazzled teenager. He notices, registers, but stays calm. This silence increases her curiosity even more. What differentiates the common from the memorable is not the haste to act, but the discipline to sustain the presence. A woman feels safe when she realizes that her gestures do not dismantle the man in front of her. And the more you show yourself stable, the more she continues, the more signs appear, the more she opens up. This is the power of silent reading. It's not about commenting, but about noticing. It's not about invading, but about observing, because ultimately, the body speaks what the mouth does not dare to say. Sign 3. The feet never lie. While many men are hypnotized by the face, the smile, or the most obvious gestures, the truth is that the feet tell a much more honest story. This is because they are the most difficult part of the body to consciously control. A woman can cross her arms to seem distant. She can hold her gaze to not expose herself too much. But the feet, these deliver the real direction of interest. Imagine a group of people talking. Everyone seems involved in the same subject, but you notice that her feet are slightly pointed towards you. It doesn't matter if the trunk is turned to the other side or if she pretends to be distracted. Her body has already made a decision before the rational mind. It's as if the instinct said, "Attention, this is the focus." This detail may seem small, but for those who learn to observe, it makes all the difference. Because in silence, her body reveals priority. If the feet seek you in the middle of a group, it's a sign that, consciously or not, she has already chosen you as the center of attention. And here comes maturity. It's not to show off, nor to comment immediately. The attentive man doesn't need to announce what he noticed. He just registers, keeps his posture firm, and lets the game continue. The woman, when realizing that you don't fall apart with these signs, feels even more comfortable to approach. The feet are like discreet arrows, which indicate the way without anyone noticing. And if you learn to read this map, you will never be lost again in the midst of smiles or ambiguous phrases. Sign 4. Adjustment. In clothes, hair, or mirror. Have you ever noticed how suddenly a woman starts to fix her dress, adjust her neckline, smooth her hair, or even check her own image in the reflection of her cell phone? This type of gesture, which many confuse with common vanity, can actually be one of the clearest signs of receptivity. We call this self-image on alert. When she realizes that she is being observed or when she feels attracted, the body reacts automatically. She repositions herself, adjusts details, prepares to be seen. It's as if, silently, she said, "Pay attention to me." The problem is that many men spoil this moment by reacting in the wrong way. Some compliment too early, others make jokes. Others still let an exaggerated enthusiasm transpire. The result is that the gesture, which was natural and instinctive, breaks. The woman feels that she has been discovered and closes her guard. The mature man does not make this mistake. He observes, but does not interrupt. He understands that this gesture is not an invitation for an immediate reaction, but a silent test of stability. The woman wants to feel if the man maintains control or if he loses his composure in the face of details. And the more you remain firm, the more she calibrates, the more signs appear, the more she exhibits herself, not to the world, but to you. This is the big difference. The anxious man reacts, the secure man notices, and the perception without haste creates magnetism. Interaction with the public. Have you ever noticed these adjustments happening near you without knowing exactly what they meant? Answer in the comments, because this type of observation can open the eyes of other men as well. Sign 5. Innocent. Touches and touching you. There is a very fine line between casual touch and intentional touch. Many times, the woman disguises her interest in seemingly innocent gestures. She runs her hand over her own arm while talking, touches her lips lightly, fiddles with her necklace, or spins the glass with her fingers. To a distracted look, it seems like a habit. To the attentive man, it's a sign. These touches on her own body have a deep meaning. They are indirect ways of releasing tension, of projecting desire without yet touching you. It's as if her body was rehearsing the contact, testing her own reaction and your perception. But there is something even more revealing when she finds an excuse to touch you. It can be a light push while laughing, the hand that touches your shoulder when greeting, the finger that touches your hand when showing something on the cell phone. These gestures, even if quick, are anything but accidental. They are subtle steps towards intimacy, as if she was measuring how much you can stand being close without getting lost. And it is precisely here that many men fail. They tremble, get disconcerted, smile foolishly, react like teenagers. The result? She realizes that the touch was stronger than you can sustain, and then she retreats. The mature man does differently. He receives the touch naturally, without getting too excited and without moving away abruptly. He just stays calm, his gaze firm, his presence solid. This transmits something rare, stability. It's as if her body said, "I want to know if he can handle being close to me." And when you show that you can handle it, she touches again, closer and closer. In practice, the touch is a thermometer. It measures your emotional posture. If you fall apart, you lose points. If you sustain, you gain space. It's simple, but powerful. Sign 6. Unconscious synchrony, mirroring. Among all the signs, this is perhaps the most silent and at the same time, one of the most powerful, unconscious synchrony. Also known as mirroring, it happens when, without realizing it, the woman starts to copy your gestures, your rhythm, and even your posture. You cross your arms and seconds later, she crosses them too. You lean forward and shortly after, she repeats the movement. You change the tone of voice and realize that she follows the same beat. This is not coincidence, it's empathy, it's body harmony, it's proof that she is entering your field of influence. The human brain works like this. When we like someone, or when we feel connection, we involuntarily start to mirror the other person's behavior. It's as if the body said, "I am in harmony with you." For the man who doesn't know how to observe, this detail goes unnoticed. But for those who have trained eyes, it's a clear sign that the attraction is already underway. It's no longer an evaluation phase, it's the beginning of an alignment. Here again, the mistake is to comment, joke, point out, "Look, you're imitating me." This breaks the naturalness and transforms a spontaneous gesture into something forced. The mature man doesn't need to say anything. He just notices, breathes deeply, maintains his posture, and continues conducting. This conduction, by the way, is fundamental. When she starts to copy you, it means that the rhythm is already in your control. Therefore, use this consciously. Decrease the rhythm of breathing, slow down the movements, keep the gaze firm. She, without realizing it, will follow. And this increases the connection even more. In Sparta, it was believed that discipline was the basis of any leadership. In the field of relationships, the discipline of rhythm is your greatest weapon. Because it's not about acting a lot, but about acting in the right beat. When you notice this synchrony, smile inside. You don't need to run, you don't need to prove anything. The simple fact that she mirrors your gestures already shows that you are on the right track. Sign 7. The smile that holds a second longer. There are social smiles, those quick, mechanical, of convenience. But there is a rare smile which cannot be confused. It is the smile that lasts a second longer. It starts slowly, opens genuine, and remains an instant beyond normal, accompanied by a firm gaze and a pause that freezes the environment for a few seconds. This smile is a deep emotional sign. It cannot be forged with perfection because it is born from areas of the brain linked to pleasure and authenticity. When a woman holds this smile looking at you, it's as if her body had revealed a secret that the mind is still trying to hide. I liked it. The mistake of many men is to react in an exaggerated way. Some start talking too much, others try to reciprocate with forced laughter, others still get nervous, losing their posture. This destroys the impact of the moment. Because what really attracts is not the haste to take advantage, but the calm to sustain. The mature man understands this. He receives the smile without euphoria, keeps his gaze firm, perhaps a slight smile back, and nothing more. This silence is what prolongs the energy. It is what transforms a simple gesture into connection. Because she feels that she doesn't need to hide anything, you will not fall apart with her sincerity. This type of smile is rare and precious. It is worth more than hours of conversation, because it communicates desire in a pure way. It is the body saying, "I want to continue here." And it is up to you to notice, welcome, and follow at the right pace, without breaking the charm. Always remember, the prolonged smile is the emotional signature of interest. Recognize it, but don't turn it into a spectacle, because for the woman, the man who sustains the silence is the same man who sustains the relationship. Closing. Presence protocol. Checklist. We have reached the end, but now you carry a code that few men master, that of silent reading. We saw together the 7 signs, the look that flees and returns, the exposed neck, the feet pointing, the adjustments in clothes, the innocent touches, the synchrony, and the smile that holds a second longer. Each of them is a password, an invitation, a test. Most men enter relationships like blind people in an open field. They talk too much, react too much, beg for explicit signs. But the man who learns to observe, who stays calm and maintains his posture, plays at another level. He doesn't need to force anything, because he sees what is before everyone's eyes, and that almost no one notices. Here is a simple checklist for you to apply from today. Look. Don't look away in anxiety. Don't stare in aggression. Sustain with calm. Pause. Don't rush to react. The pause is the invisible weapon that increases the intensity. Presence. Body erect. Deep breathing. Firm movements. The rest happens as a consequence. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. Because a mature woman is not looking for someone to fill silence with empty words. She is looking for someone who makes silence a safe place. And that is exactly what differentiates the common man from the unforgettable man. The discipline of presence. I want you to write in the comments the word presence. This will be our silent code, the mark that you understood that, in life and in relationships, whoever controls the silence controls the course. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Tap the button, activate the notifications. The next video is already in the sequence, ready to deepen even more this path of clarity and posture. Stay on the screen, because in a few seconds a hand-picked content will appear there for you. See you there, Spartan.